Welcome to part 12, which is the final part of the indefinite integration series. Today we are going to learn the method of partial fractions and some special type of sums as well. So I'm going to start the sums directly, and I'm going to explain the partial fractions method in the sum itself. So this is question number 1. We have integration of 3x minus 2 upon x square minus 3x plus 2. Now normally if this was a question say from exercise 5, we would have just tried to get the derivative of the denominator in the numerator, and then we would have split up, and in the second part we would have completed squares. That is what the fifth exercise method would have been. But we are going to solve this sum by the partial fractions method. Now what do we do in the partial fractions method? Let's see. First of all, the quadratic equation in the denominator should be factorizable. So we should be able to find factors for the denominator. Otherwise we cannot do this by the method of partial fractions. Then we will have to revert to the exercise 5 method. So we have x square minus 3x plus 2 in the denominator, whose factors are quite easily found. X minus 2 into x minus 1 by factor. It's a quadratic equation, so we made the two factors. We found the two factors. So it's x minus 2 into x minus 1. The numerator is a linear expression here, 3x minus 2. Now what do? We will say let 3x minus 2 upon x minus 2 into x minus 1 be sum a upon this first factor, which is x minus 2, plus b in divided by this other factor, x minus 1. Now that's an assumption we've made. So we will want to get the values of this a and b. For that, now we will take we'll cross multiply. We'll take x minus 2 into x minus 1 as the LCM. So x minus 1 got cross multiplied here, x minus 2 got cross multiplied there, and you got the LCM as x minus 2 into x minus 1, which cancels away on both the sides, right? So what are we left with? We are left with 3x minus 2, and then we have this ax plus bx. So we have a plus b into x, and then we have minus a minus 2b. So why have I put these terms in brackets? Because now a plus b into x, so a plus b is the coefficient of x, so we'll compare that with the coefficient of x on the left hand side as well. So which means a plus b can be compared with 3. We'll call that equation number 1. And similarly, minus a minus 2b, which is a constant on the right hand side, will be compared with minus 2, which is a constant on the left hand side. So minus a minus 2b will be compared with minus 2. That gives you equation number 2. Now we will solve these two equations simultaneously. So we'll just add the equations 1 and 2 so that a and minus a got cancelled. You have b plus minus 2b becoming minus b, and 3 plus minus 2 becoming 1, and so minus b comes equal to 1, which means b comes equal to minus 1. We'll substitute this in the first equation, so you'll get a minus 1 equal to 3, and from that you'll get the value of a as 4. Now what do we do with these values of a and b? We'll substitute them here in place of a and b. So it means that your integration sum, which was 3x minus 2 upon x minus 2 into x minus 1, which is what we've let this to be a upon x minus 2 plus b upon x minus 1, which means we can replace this by a, which is 4 upon x minus 2 plus minus 1 upon x minus 1. So that's what we'll substitute in place of I. And you know the integration of 1 upon x minus 2 is log of x minus 2, so you'll get 4 into log of x minus 2. 1 upon x minus 1, again the integration is log of x minus 1, so you will get 4 log x minus 2 minus log of x minus 1 plus c. So that of course will give you a different answer, but this is nevertheless another method of solving such a question. I told you right at the beginning, you can even do this by the exercise 5 method, where we find the derivative of the denominator, try to get it in the numerator, then we'll make some adjustments and split up, and in the second part, the first part will become f dash x upon f of x, the second part will become something divided by a quadratic equation in which we will complete squares. So that is also an alternate method, but if I were to do it by the method of partial fractions, this is how I would do it. Sometimes they would ask you to do a particular sum by the method of partial fraction. They'll insist that the sum is to be done by partial fractions, so that time we cannot use the exercise 5 method, then we'll have to stick to this method. Now let us see a few more sums related to the same method. So this is integration x square plus 37 divided by x square minus 7 into x square plus 4. Again I'll let x square plus 37 upon x square minus 7 into x square plus 4b equal to a upon x square minus 7 plus b upon x square plus 4. Something quite similar to the earlier sum as well. Again, we will take LCM here. So x square plus 4 goes there, x square minus 7 goes there. We take the LCM as x square minus 7 into x square plus 4, which cancels on both sides. And then we will make this a plus b into x square plus 4a minus 7b. And that is what I've precisely done here in the next step. X square plus 37 is equal to a plus b into x square plus 4a minus 7b. Again, we'll compare the coefficients of x square. So a plus b is compared with 1 and 4a minus 7b, the constant, is compared with the constant 37. So that's a plus b equal to 1 becomes equation 1. 4a minus 7b equal to 37 becomes equation number 2. So again, we have to solve these simultaneously. So let us multiply the first equation by 7, right? So if we multiply the first equation by 7, we'll get 7a plus 7b equal to 7. And if we were to add this earlier equation with this, you will get 4a plus 7a equal to 11a minus 7b plus 7b got cancelled. 37 plus 7 has become 44, which obviously gives you 4 as a value of a. We'll substitute the value of a equal to 4 in the first equation. So you'll get 4 plus b equal to 1, and that would give you b is equal to minus 3. So let's put these values of a and b in your I. So I is equal to, now what is a? A is 4, so that will become, here you go, 4 upon x square minus 7, and b is minus 3, so that will become minus 3 upon x square plus 4. That is what I've done here. 4 upon x square minus 7, 7 is written as root 7 whole squared, plus minus 3 upon x square plus 4 will become x square minus x square plus 2 square, I beg your pardon, x square plus 2 square. Why have I written this in this fashion? Because these are the formulas, 1 upon x square minus a square, and this one is 1 upon x square plus a square. So what is the formula? We keep this 4 aside. 1 upon x square minus a square is 1 by 2a log of x minus a upon x plus a. This will become 1 upon 2 root 7 log of x minus root 7 upon x plus root 7. 2 got cancelled with this 4 2 times, so there's a 2 in the numerator, divided by root 7 log of x minus root 7 upon x plus root 7. What happens in the second part? You keep this minus 3 aside. This is 1 by a tan inverse of x by a, so this is 1 by 2 tan inverse of x by 2 plus c. Let's come to the third question. Now here we have sine 2x divided by cos square x plus 5 cos x plus 6. Now we know the trigonometry formula for sine 2x. It is 2 sin x cos x. It's just that I've written it as 2 cos x sin x, quite intentionally. Why? So that when I put cos x equal to t, sin x dx will become minus dt. And so this entire expression, which was a trigonometric expression, now will become an algebraic expression. So that will lead us to the partial fraction method. So 2t, right, cos x is t, so 2t upon t square plus 5t plus 6, right, and sin x dx is minus dt, and so here you have minus dt. Now we'll throw this minus sign outside. This is 2t divided by, and this is a quadratic equation which can be easily factorized. So t square plus 5t plus 6 will become t plus 3 into t plus 2. Now we will let this 2t upon t plus 3 into t plus 2 be equal to a upon t plus 3 plus b upon t plus 2. Again we take LCM, and I've skipped that step. So you get 2t equal to a into t plus 2 plus b into t plus 3. Then a plus b into t plus, you will get 2a plus 3b in the other bracket. So a plus b will be compared with 2, and 2a plus 3b will be compared with nothing, because there's no constant on the left hand side. So you'll be comparing 2a plus 3b with 0. So a plus b equal to 2 is equation number 1, and 2a plus 3b is equal to 0 is equation number 2. So let's multiply the first equation by 2 so that we can eliminate a. So you'll get 2a plus 2b equal to 4, right? So you got 2a plus 2b equal to 4, 2a plus 3b equal to 0. We subtract, so 2a minus 2a got cancelled. 2a minus 3b becomes minus b. 4 minus 0 becomes 4, which means b is minus 4. We'll substitute the value of b equal to minus 4 in the first equation. So you'll get a, it was a plus b equal to 2, right? So it will become a plus minus 4 equal to 2. So you get a is equal to 6. Now we'll substitute it in I. There's a minus sign outside, remember. Integration of a, which is 6 upon t plus 3, plus b, which is minus 4 upon t plus 2. And now that's very easy to integrate. Minus sign comes in, so minus 6 log of t plus 3 minus minus becomes plus 4 log of t plus 2 plus c. And then we have to definitely resubstitute t back as cos x, we can't forget that. So minus 6 log of mod cos x plus 3 plus 4 log of mod cos x plus 2 plus c is your final answer. Now let's come to question number 4. Now here we have integration of x cube minus 4x square plus 3x plus 11 upon x square minus 5x plus 6. Now we cannot forget, and this is what we've learned right at the beginning of the chapter in exercise 1, where if the degree or the highest power in the numerator is greater than that of the denominator, then we have to simply divide the numerator by denominator. So this is precisely what I'm going to do here. My x cube minus 4x square plus 3x plus 11, which is the numerator, is now the dividend, and x square minus 5x plus 6, which was the denominator, is now the divisor. So what do we need for x cube? We have x square, so we just introduce a x here. So x square into x becomes x cube, minus 5x into x becomes minus 5x square, 6 into x becomes plus 6x. Let's subtract. So x cube minus x cube got cancelled, minus 4x square. This minus has become plus because minus minus becomes plus. So minus 4x square plus 5x square is x square plus 3x, and this plus and minus will become minus. So 3x minus 6x is minus 3x. We just bring this plus 11 down. Now we want x square. We already have x square, so we just introduce a 1. So x plus 1. So 1 into x square minus 5x into 1 is minus 5x, 6 into 1 is 6, and we'll again subtract. So x square minus x square got cancelled, minus 3x minus minus plus, so minus 3x plus 5x has become 2x, 11 plus minus is minus, so 11 minus 6 is 5. So 2x plus 5 is the remainder, x plus 1 is the quotient. I'd already told you x square minus 5x plus 6 is the divisor, x cube minus 4x square plus 3x plus 11 is the dividend. So we have the sum in the form dividend upon divisor. So what is dividend upon divisor? It is quotient plus remainder upon divisor. So we have everything with us. We have the quotient, we have the remainder, we have the divisor. So we'll replace your dividend upon divisor, which was the original sum, by I equal to quotient, which is x plus 1, plus remainder, which is 2x plus 5, divided by divisor, which is x square minus 5x plus 6. Now the first part, x plus 1, is very easy to integrate, but the second part, 2x plus 5 upon x square minus 5x plus 6, has presented itself as a partial fraction sum. So let us do that by partial fractions. Again, we will let this 2x plus 5 upon x minus 3 into x minus 2 be equal to a upon x minus 3 plus b upon x minus 2, and then we will take LCM and we'll get 2x plus 5 equal to a into x minus 2 plus b into x minus 3. Again we take a plus b into x, and then we get minus 2a minus 3b in the other bracket. So a plus b will be compared with 2, and minus 2a minus 3b will be compared with 5. Again solve simultaneously. We multiply the first equation by 2, so you get 2a plus 2b equal to 4. This added minus 2a plus 2a goes away, minus 3b plus 2b becomes minus b, 5 plus 4 is 9, so b becomes minus 9. We substitute b as minus 9 in the first equation, you get a as minus 9 plus minus 9 goes there, so you get a plus minus 9 equal to 2, which makes it a equal to 11. And so now again we substitute that in place of a and b. So the first part is of course integration of x plus 1 dx, plus now this has become a upon x minus 3 plus b upon x minus 2. So a is 11, so 11 upon x minus 3 minus 9 upon x minus 2. Let's integrate everything. The integration of x is x square by 2 plus integration of 1 is x plus 11. 1 upon x minus 3 integration is log of x minus 3 minus 9 log of x minus 2 plus c. Now let's come to question number 5, a fairly important sum. Let's see why. We have a quadratic equation x square plus 3x plus 5 in the numerator. We have a linear expression x plus 2 into a quadratic expression x square plus 2x plus 3 in the denominator. Now it doesn't fit in the partial fraction format that we have discussed in the earlier few sums, but there is something peculiar over here. If you notice, your x square plus 3x plus 5 is actually the sum of x plus 2 and x square plus 2x plus 3. Just check. I've written it in the numerator. I've replaced x square plus 3x plus 5 by x square plus 2x plus 3 plus x plus 2. Doesn't it become x square plus 3x plus 5? Just check. X square plus 2x plus x is 3x, right? And 3 plus 2 is 5. So we have been able to express the numerator in terms of the denominators, the two factors in the denominator. So x square plus 2x plus 3 plus x plus 2 in the numerator. Now we will split this across this plus sign. So when we split it here, you get 1 upon x plus 2, plus on this side you get 1 upon x square plus 2x plus 3. So here x plus 2 got cancelled, and here on this side x square plus 2x plus 3 got cancelled. So here you got 1 upon x plus 2, and there you got 1 upon x square plus 2x plus 3. Now the problem here is that we cannot make factors of x square plus 2x plus 3. So this one will have to be done by completing of squares. So we'll have to take half of 2, which is 1, and square that. So 1 square. So we have to add 1 and subtract 1, or just simply split up the 3 as 1 plus 2, much like what we've done in exercise 5. So x square plus 2x plus 1 becomes x plus 1 whole squared, and 2 is written as root 2 square. So this is 1 upon x square plus a square format. This, meanwhile, 1 upon x plus 2 integration is very easy. It is log of x plus 2. And this one plus 1 by root 2, tan inverse of x plus 1 divided by root 2. That's 1 by a tan inverse of x by a. So that is the solution to this question. Now let's do one last important sum. Here, question number 6, we have integration of 1 upon x cube into 1 minus x. Now this is a very interesting sum. There is 1 in the numerator. I'm going to try to get the denominator in the numerator, but in not very directly, but in a very indirect fashion. So there is a 1 in the numerator. I will subtract x cube and add x cube. Now you would wonder that, okay, because I have a x cube, I have introduced the minus x cube and plus x cube. Yeah, partially true, but I am doing this more so for this 1 minus x. Now how is that? 1 minus x cube is a cube minus b cube. So 1 cube minus x cube. So what is a cube minus b cube? It is a minus b into a square plus ab plus b squared. So 1 minus x cube is written as 1 minus x, so that's a minus b, into a plus b, a square plus ab plus b squared. So 1 square plus 1 into x, that's x, plus x square. So a minus b into a square plus ab plus b square, plus x cube is written as it is. Now we'll split this up across the plus sign. So when we split it up here, you cancel 1 minus x with this 1 minus x. So you're left with 1 plus x square, the whole divided by x cube. In the second part, your x cube and x cube got cancelled. You're left with 1 upon 1 minus x. Now we'll split this x cube across these three terms. So you'll get 1 by x cube, you'll get 1 upon x square, you'll get 1 upon x. So 1 by x cube plus 1 by x square plus 1 by x, and plus you already have this 1 upon 1 minus x. Now all four can be integrated. What is the integration of 1 by x cube? It's minus 1 upon 2x square. What is the integration of 1 by x square? It's minus 1 by x. Integration of 1 by x is log x, plus integration of 1 upon 1 minus x is log of 1 minus x, but divide by coefficient of x, divide by minus 1. So that very first thing, or the first few rules that I taught you before exercise 1 are still applicable to even the last sum in the last exercise. So log of 1 minus x, but then you know the coefficient of x is minus 1, so you have to divide by minus 1. So minus 1 upon 2x square minus 1 by x, and this log x minus log of 1 minus x is written as log of a by b. So log of x upon 1 minus x is brought together. I hope this method of partial fractions was clear to you. This was the end this is the end of the indefinite integration chapter. Until next time, goodbye.